Alrighty, hi y'all. Happy to your 12. Happy, happy that you're here for your 12 p.m. flow. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Hopefully words aren't that hard for the rest of class. I don't think they should be. Should have gotten that out of the way now. So my name's Nicolette. Super happy that you are tuned in. We're gonna be doing a flow for the hamstrings today. So a lot of focus on our back body. We'll definitely do some core because we always do core. And I think we're going to do double chaturungas today throughout class, if you want. Just know that's optional. It's not required, of course. A little bit of housekeeping. So side note, you can make any donations to blackswanyoga.com/live. All the donations go to our teachers. We super appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be getting back into the studios in the near future. And that way we can connect that way as well as virtually and continue to do them both. So yeah, we're not going to use any props for class today. We'll get started in just a couple minutes and get settled. All right, yogis, we're gonna get started. It's just a few minutes after 12. Sorry for the little delay there. My name's Nicolette. Super happy that you're tuned in. I mentioned in the beginning of class, if you want to make a donation, totally not required by any means, completely optional. Donations are completely accepted at www.blackswanyoga.com/optional. Donations are completely accepted at www.blackswanyoga.com/live. We super appreciate it and appreciate all your support during this time. Yeah, it was supposed to rain today. I think it might rain today a little bit later this afternoon, but I figured I could catch some time outside in the next few hours that we're here. I think it's supposed to rain at like 2 or 3 o'clock it's saying now, so I was like, better get outside. Yeah, we're gonna get started, friends. Alrighty, so I mentioned just a few minutes ago when I popped on here for the first time that I'm going to be doing double chaturangas today. That's totally optional for you. I'm just going to throw that out there now. So the reason that I've been doing double chaturangas, if you've been in my classes lately, is simply because I was realizing that when we were in-person classes, I kind of was starting to slack a little bit, and I was like skipping maybe like half of the chaturangas, which is fine. It's good to have a restorative practice and listen to your body when you need it, but I wasn't really listening to my body. I was just like, I don't want to challenge myself. I don't want to go through something that's hard. So that being said, for the last like 3 or so weeks of quarantine, I've been doing double chaturangas in my classes and in my personal practice. And now the double chaturangas are like getting easy, which is crazy. I mean, not easy, but you know what I mean? They're getting easier. So now I'm like, do we do triple chaturangas? But no, so we're just going to do double chaturangas today if you want, if you even want to do chaturangas at all. If you are like, I want to do one, just like the normal lady, then that's great. If you're like, I don't want to do any today, awesome. So yeah, just keep that in mind that you're totally welcome to join in with Pop a squat. And go ahead and immediately, as soon as you come to your seat, go ahead and start to soften your gaze. Maybe you close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And start to attune your focus to your breath. I'd like you to simply begin to notice where do you feel your breath in your body? Do you feel the breath in your belly? Do you feel it in your chest? Maybe you're like, I don't really know. I just feel it right at my nostrils where it comes in and comes out of my body. And that's a great observation as well. So now that you've started to attune your focus to where you feel the breath right now, we're going to grow our breath together as a group. So wherever you felt it the most, if it was in your belly or in your chest, you're going to take it to that oppositional place, that vice versa there. And if you felt it right at your nostrils, that's awesome, because we're going to start to grow it, and so you can start to feel it throughout your whole entire vessel of your body. So wherever you are, go ahead and open your mouth and hear your breath leave your body. Audible exhale, sigh it out. And take a breath in for a count of 4. So for 4, for 3, filling up with breath, for 2, and for 1, pause at the top of your breath in now. So now this is called the peak of your breath. And at the very top, when we hold our breath, this is called kumbhaka. And that's the Sanskrit word for the space in between. So that moment of retention of your breath, where you're holding it right now. And then go ahead and audible exhale, open your mouth and hear your breath leave your body for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Pause at the bottom. And now you have kumbhaka, or that retention, that space, at the very bottom of your exhale. So normally when we take our breath in and breath out, it's the cyclical pattern, and it's just an in and an out. And if we can find a little bit of pause in between the breath in and the breath out, that's said to be found, that moment, that little space, is said to be the pure moment of consciousness. And take a big breath in, fill up for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause at the top. You're full of breath now. You're full of life. And kind of take your awareness to your shoulders. Notice if your shoulders have lifted up with your breath. If your shoulders have lifted, even if you don't think they have, I'd like you to audibly exhale for 4 and soften your shoulders for 3, soften the shoulders for 2, and 1. Find pause at the bottom. Find that retention, the space. And now you're finding space between your breath out before you take your next breath in. Can you be okay in this space of feeling empty of breath? And know that you're not going to withstand yourself from breath. You're going to take your next breath in. Fill up. Big, huge inhale for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause. Notice once again how it feels to be full of your breath, full of life, and full of oxygen that's filling your lungs. And audible exhale for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Pause at the bottom. Find that retention, find that space, and be in this space. Big breath in, fill up, yogis. Audible exhale, breath out. 1 more big breath in. And big breath out. Inhale, reach your arms up, palms touch, might touch overhead. As you exhale, pull your hands down through heart center prayer pose, Anjali Mudra. Press your thumb tips in towards your chest and take a huge breath in as you lift your heart into your fingertips with reverence. Keep your heart lifted as you exhale. Just take a moment here to honor your body, find some gratitude, find some love for thanking yourself for carving this time out simply for you to be here on your mat. Slowly blink your eyes open, and we're going to start in a really grounding pose. We're going to start in child's pose. So take your big toes to touch, take your knees out wide, forehead to the mat, and crawl your arms out long. And while you get set up here in your child's pose, I'm going to go spray some bug spray because apparently the mosquitoes are loving my blood today, as always. And I'm getting eaten alive. 1 sec. Find your child's pose, come to your breath. Start to feel your hips sink a little bit closer towards your heels. And if you'd like, you might crawl your fingertips a little bit further out in front of you. And take a big breath as you start to feel your belly press against your thighs. Start to feel your lungs expand. Find some softness behind your back and your neck. And then go ahead and find a nice deep exhale and feel everything squeeze back into the midline as your belly lifts off your thighs maybe. And maybe you start to feel your belly button come a little bit closer towards your spine. I'd like you to take 5 to 10 deep breaths here. And this is a breathing practice, right? So can you really attune your focus here so much that you start to feel your breath really grow within you? And you start to feel these 5 to 10 breaths ground you, surround you with this Mother Earth. After your 10th breath, start to make your way to your tabletop, so all fours. And make this a really, make a tabletop with a sense of integrity. So I'd like you to take your wrists right underneath your shoulders and take your knees so they're right underneath your hips. So find really nice alignment here to start. As you inhale, we're gonna find our cow pose. So inhale, your belly drops, your heart shines through your arms, tilt your tailbone. As you exhale, round, vertebrae by vertebra. Start to tuck your crown towards your forehead and take your forehead towards your pelvis. And start to press your hands even further through your mat. Inhale to your cow pose. Press down to the tops of your feet and your shins. Think about dragging your palms towards your hips as you pull your heart through. As you exhale, start to dome your back, leading with your tailbone. Vertebrae by vertebra, you start to round as you find articulation in your vertebra. Take a couple more of these cat-cows at your own breath cycle. Match your breath for your movement. You might even start to add some maybe circles of the arms. Finding a wide range of motion with both of your rotator cuffs on each side. Maybe you take the thread the needle. You might just sway your hips side to side or find some wrist stretches. And just find some animalistic movement. So that kind of means something that isn't necessarily a pose, but it's just the way that you can move your body that you're like, oh yeah, this feels good. And take 3 more breaths here. Balancing out your sides, evening out your breath. And start to come back through neutral. From here, you're going to take a thread the needle. So reach your left arm up as you reach up towards the sky. Open up. As you exhale, drop your left ear and cheek your left shoulder to the floor. Install your right arm overhead, reaching towards the front wall. And straighten the right arm completely. Take 3 breaths into your right lung. Slowly bring your right hand back by your face, press down, inhale, unwind, reach up. And exhale, take your left hand down. Inhale reaches your right arm up, take a big breath in. Exhale, thread the needle, drop your right ear and cheek your right shoulder this time, install your left arm out long. Taking 3 breaths into your left side. Bringing your left hand back by your face. Press down, inhale reaches your right arm up, big breath in. Exhale takes your right hand back down to the floor. Crawl your fingertips forward to your puppy pose. Melt your heart to the earth and take your forehead down. Wave your spine from here into Sphinx pose, lowering down to your belly. Take your elbows so that they're right underneath your shoulders, and take your forearms so they're parallel to each other. So if you notice that your chest is kind of hanging low to the floor, it feels like it's dipping down, I want you to press your forearms down into your mat and maybe even press them a little bit forward. Pull your heart through your arms and take 3 breaths here. Go ahead and slowly lower all the way back down. Take your hands like little grasshopper arms right by your side for baby cobra. Bring your legs to touch, toes touch. As you press down through your feet, lift your chest, lift your heart. And exhale to the floor. 2 more baby cobra. And exhale down. Last time, lift up. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes under, press up, plank pose. 2 downward facing dogs, and the hips high. Together, take a big breath in. And together, take a big breath out. 2 more, fill up. And let it go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale onto the toes. Take your gaze past your fingertips, tippy toe. Very, very top of your mat. Inhale lifts you halfway. Take your breath in. And exhale, breathe out your forward fold. 2 more. Inhale lifts you halfway. And exhale, folds you forward. Inhale lifts you, breathe in. And exhale as you breathe out. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. And part the air, hands by your sides. Separate your feet hip width distance if they're not already. We're going to do a side body stretch here. As you inhale, reach your arms up, take a big breath in. Take your right hand down to the floor like you're making a stop sign. So your palm is going to be facing your mat. Start to reach up and over to the right side as your hips go left. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, draw the right shoulder down. Inhale, rises you back up through center. Exhale, take the left arm down, palm faces the floor. Inhale, reach up and over to the left side. So imagine like you're gonna grow out of both of your side bodies. So you're not just instantly like leaning sideways, you're lifting up and then you're leaning sideways. Take one more big breath in into the right side. Exhale, stay. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Breath in, lifts you halfway, yogis. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank pose, top of a push-up. Pausing here in your plank. I want you to imagine like you could press your hands down through the floor, squeeze your belly button to your spine. So now, as you inhale, shift forward, drop down to your knees, and then lower halfway down and pause. This is your chaturanga. Upward facing dog, you shine your heart forward and through. And downward facing dog, you lift your hips. We're gonna do one more like that. Inhale, wave your spine forward into your plank. So now it's your option. You can take your knees down if you were like, man, I've never done that before and it was a lot more accessible for me. Then do that. If you were like, no, I can lift my knees or I wanna lift my knees. We're gonna do a double chaturanga, so keep that in mind. As you inhale, shift forward. Lower halfway down chaturanga. Press up, high plank. Lower halfway down chaturanga. You're strong, you can do this. Upward facing dog, shine your heart. And downward facing dog, lift the hips. Together, take a big breath in. And together, take a huge breath out. One more, fill up. Let it go. Inhale onto your toes. Take your gaze past your fingertips. Now tippy toe to the very, very top of your mat. Inhale lifts you halfway. Breathe in. I might just got the mosquito. Sorry. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reach all the way up to standing. Breath lifts you up. Exhale, dive back down, fold to the earth. Inhale lifts you halfway. Breathe in. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Now it's your option to do one chaturanga, your option to do 2 chaturangas, or your option to do no chaturangas. So find your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Together, take a huge breath in. Together, take a huge breath out. Inhale, fills you up. Exhale, you empty. Inhale, right leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, crunch knee to your nose. Step it between your hands, low lunge, Anjaneyasana, curl your hands up your right thigh. So keep your hands on your right thigh for now. And I want you to think about pushing your thigh down and then forward with your hands. So press your thigh down and press it forward. Notice how your core, your lower belly feels like it just lifted up a little bit and engaged. And your shoulders open, your collarbones broadened. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, push the right thigh down and forward. Keep this. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, plant your hands, straighten the right leg. Flex your right toes towards your face, half splits. Inhale, lifts you halfway, breathe in. Exhale, come onto your fingertips, lead with your heart and fold forward. So for this first round here, we're gonna hold our half splits for 5 breaths. And each time we're gonna make it a little bit quicker with a little bit more flow. We're just opening up the body here to get deep into the stretching. so that when we come back to this place, it's gonna feel a lot better and we can breathe with more ease here. Find 2 more breaths, yogis. Bend into the right knee. So you plant your left hand down, low lunge twist. You have the option to keep your left knee down, or you can tuck your left toes and lift the left knee. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, twist, tone your back. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. Plant your right hand down. Tuck your back toes under if they're not. Step your right foot to meet your left. And we'll find downward facing dog, your journey. Moving with breath. Know that you're so strong. Yogis, big inhale. Big exhale. 1 more, fill up. And let it go. Inhale, left leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, crunch knee to your nose. And step it between your hands. Anjaneyasana, low lunge, right knee comes to the mat. Walk your hands up your left thigh this time. Take your hands to your left thigh and take a big breath in. Exhale as you press your left thigh down and then forward, breathe out. Big inhale. Exhale, shine your heart, push the thigh forward. Keep this, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, plant the hands, straighten the left leg, half splits. Inhale lifts you halfway, come onto fingertips, lift your heart. Exhale, lead with your heart. The heart comes first. Exhale, fold. Finding 5 breaths here, yogis. Bend back into the front knee, plant your right hand down, low lunge twist. Option for the right knee to come off the earth or to keep it grounded. Big breath in and big breath out. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, tone your back, twist, twist, twist. I feel like I'm playing like whack-a-mole but with mosquitoes. I swear I've gotten like 8 to 10 mosquito bites already in these like 20 minutes. Take your left hand down. Tuck your back toes under, step your left foot back to meet your right, flow through vinyasa, downward facing dog. So the challenge for me for this class is to not feverishly itch my 10 mosquito bites that I have and to be with that sensation of the itch. And normally I'm like, I cannot stop itching myself. I think I'm like super allergic. I get really big bumps. So this is quite the challenge for me here to be present with my breath, be present in my body, and to resist any external stimuli of sensation, so that itch or that scratch. Whew, it's a tough one. Inhale, come onto your toes. Gaze fast, fingertips, tippy toe out to the very top. Separate your feet hip width distance. Take your peace fingers, your middle and index. Wrap them around your big toe for Pada Gustasana. Inhale lifts you halfway. Your thumb meets your big toes, or I'm sorry, your thumb meets your peace fingers, middle and index, to create a lock around the big toe. And keep the length of your heart, and your heart leads first, forward fold. Padangustasana. You split your elbows out to the right and to the left as you work to draw your chest, your heart, and your chin further down your shins, in between your legs. I want you to imagine like you had 2 magnets on the inner edges of both of your ankles. So imagine like the 2 magnets right now are squeezing your 2 femur bones together. Take 2 more breaths here. Draw your shoulders towards your hips. So now you have space for your shoulders and for some softness to breathe. Take 1 more big breath in, yogis. Inhale lifts you, keep your grip, lift halfway. Exhale, release your grip 1 hand at a time, and you forward fold, bow down. Inhale lifts you halfway. Plant your hands, plank pose to dog pose. Choose your journey, yogis. Together, take a huge breath in. And together, take a huge breath out. One more, fill up. And let it go. Inhale, right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, crunch knee to your nose. Step it under your heart. So mind you, it's going to be a little bit shorter distance than normal. Carve your back heel down. The left heel comes down. Your left toes slightly go out to the left. Pyramid pose. Inhale, come onto the fingertips. Lift your heart. Imagine like someone's going to pull your right hip back and push your left hip forward. And now you lift even higher with your heart. Pull it through your arms. And exhale, you fold to Mother Earth. So same thing here. We're going to be here for a couple breaths. We're going to be here and stay here to see how well we can breathe, how straight we can get that front right leg. And not to the point where you're like hyperextending, you're locking out the knee. You have this little teeny tiny micro bend in the front right leg. Think about lifting it all the way up to the inner right hip crease. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, melt, fold even deeper. Inhale lifts you halfway. Standing splits, left leg up to the sky. You might take a bind, wrapping your right forearm around your right calf. One more breath. Go ahead and bend your right knee. Actually, bend your left knee first. So bend the left knee, bend your right knee. I want you to crunch your left knee into the back of your right kneecap. We're going to call it your knee pit. Inhale, left leg up, straighten the left leg. Exhale, crunch left knee to your right knee pit. Behind the right knee, crunch and sink your hips just a little bit. Two more. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, crunch, squeeze, 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 dip the hips. One more big breath in. You got it, yogis. You're so strong. Exhale, knee, crunch, and take your seat all the way down. Keep your feet just like this. So now your right foot is by your left hip, and your left foot is by your right hip. So your feet are to opposite hips. Half Lord of the Fishes. Inhale, reach your arms up. Take a big breath in. Exhale, twist to the right. So tuck your left elbow and twist to the right wall. Take 2 breaths. Inhale, 2, grow tall. Exhale, 2, tone your back and twist. Draw your right shoulder down to the floor. Big inhale. Exhale, you twist. Inhale, reach your arms up back through center. And take them over to the left side now. Take them to the floor, take a counter twist. So just press your hands down into the ground and forward. And think about sending your hips back behind you. You're gonna get deep into your back body. It's almost like you're making a cat spine here. Continue crawling your hands to the back of your mat now. And lift your hips. We're facing the back side to downward facing dog. Together, take a big breath in, yogis. And together, take a big breath out. 2 more, fill up. And let it go. Big inhale, breathe in. Breathe out. Left leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, crunch knee to your nose. Step it underneath your heart, shorter distance. Right heel comes down to the floor. Yogis, come onto your fingertips. You inhale, lift your heart. Now I want you to imagine like someone pulls your left hip back. So your left hip goes to the back wall, and then someone pushes your right hip towards the front wall. If you were to take a peek at your hips, so if you look up towards your belly button, it'd be like if you had headlights on your hips would go straight forward, maybe slightly down. Inhale, lift your chest, shine your heart even further through your arms. Keep the length and the lift of your heart and fold. Melt your heart down. Taking 3 breaths here. Grow really big and bright, full of breath. Find that little teeny tiny micro bend of the left knee. So if you have the left leg completely like locked out, probably doesn't even feel that good, honestly. Find a little bend in the knee, and then you can start to stretch the actual hamstring muscles, the glutes of the hamstrings, rather than the attachment points. Take 1 more big breath in. Exhale, melt your heart. Standing splits, right leg up to the sky. Point your right toes. And you might take a grip by trying to wrap your left forearm around your left calf. Bend the right knee, take your right knee to your left knee pit, crunch and squeeze, sit the booty down. 3 more, inhale, reach the right leg up, straighten it as best you can. Exhale, crunch, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 2 more, inhale, lift it up. Exhale, crunch and squeeze. Last time, big breath in. Exhale, squeeze and crunch, and then sit all the way down. So now once again, your feet are to your opposite hip. Reach your arms up with a big inhale. Take a twist, right elbow to your left knee, twist to the left side. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, draw your left shoulder down to the floor, away from your ear. 1 more breath like this, yogis. Unwind, reach your arms up. Reach your arms forward to the right side. Take your hands off your mat. Press your hands down and away like your cat spine, dome your back. And keep crawling your hands now to the front of your mat. Spin your toes around, downward facing dog, however you need to get there. Together, take a huge breath in. And together, a huge breath out. 1 more, fill up. And let it go. Inhale, come onto your toes. Wave your spine forward into your plank pose. Roll, roll, roll. Pausing in your plank, find your vinyasa or skip it. Meet in downward facing dog. Big inhale, yogis. Deep exhale. 1 more, fill up. And let it go. We're going to move a little bit more of 1 breath per movement. Right leg up and back, 3-legged dog. We're going to combine those 2 flows. Exhale, crunch knee to your nose. Step it between your hands, low lunge. Crawl your hands up your right thigh. Inhale, reach your arms up. We're going to throw a cactus arms in here. Exhale, cactus your arms, lift your heart. Inhale, stretch up, reach up. Exhale, plant your hands onto your fingertips, straighten the right leg, half splits. Inhale, lifts your heart. Exhale, fold you forward. Bend into your front leg, low lunge twist. Lift the left knee down for a challenge. Lift the left knee now is what I meant. Reach your right arm up, take a big breath in. Exhale, twist. 1 more big inhale. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. Plant your right hand down, step your left foot in an effort, back heel carves down, pyramid pose. Inhale, come onto your fingertips, lift halfway. Exhale, fold you forward. Find 1 full round of breath in your fold. Inhale lifts you halfway. Standing splits, left leg launches to the sky. Finding 3 breaths here in your standing splits. If you'd like, you can take handstand prep, maybe handstand. Go ahead and crunch your left knee to your right knee pit. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. 3 more. Inhale, send it up. Exhale, crunch, squeeze. 2 more. Inhale, left leg high. You got it. Exhale, crunch and squeeze. Last time, big breath in. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, left leg high. Step it back, low lunge. Step your right foot to meet your left. Downward facing dog. Yogis, big breath in. Big breath out. 1 more, fill up. Let it go. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, crunch to your nose. Step it between your hands, low lunge. Reach your arms up with a big inhale. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale, reach them up. Exhale, half split, straighten the left leg. Flex your left toes towards your face. Come on to fingertips, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Bend into the left knee, tuck your back toes under, right knee lifts. Low lunge twist, 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, tone your back twist. 1 more, big breath in, yogis. Exhale, twist, twist, twist. Left hand comes down, pyramid pose. Right foot steps in an effort till the heel can carve. Inhale onto your fingertips. Exhale, pyramid pose. Lead with your heart and fold. One full round of breath in your fold. You've got it. Inhale lifts you halfway. Standing splits, right leg up to the sky. If you'd like handstand, prep handstand. 3 to 4 breaths here, friends. Step your right foot back, low lunge. Left foot meets your right. Downward facing dog. You choose your flow. Together, take a huge breath in. Together, a huge breath out. Inhale onto the toes. Drop to the shins, puppy pose. Melt your heart and breathe into it. Come back to your tabletop. I'd like you to tuck all 10 toes under. Take your palms and make them face your face. So the palms are up to the sky and your fingertips are towards your knees. So this is a funky transition. So if you're like, this is not working for me, once you try it, then you can go ahead and make your way into it however your body needs. It looks weirder than it is, so just try it with me. Take your left foot, step it on top of your left hand, and your right foot steps on top of your right hand. Take your toes all the way up to your wrist creases. As you inhale, lift your heart, so simply lift your gaze. As you exhale, Pada Hastasana. Pull your heart down to the earth. And you can wiggle your toes here, give your wrists a nice little massage. And shift your weight a little bit further into your toes, and you're gonna feel your hips raise. Find that same little micro bend of the knees. So if your legs are like stick straight, you want to take a little teeny tiny micro bend behind your kneecap, and then you're starting to stretch your actual muscles rather than the attachments. Take one more breath in. Exhale, can you fold just a little bit deeper? Inhale lifts you halfway, keep your grip. Exhale, release your grip one hand at a time. Inhale lifts you halfway. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, soften the hands by your sides. Interlace your hands behind your back so palms touch. Take your feet hip width distance if they're not. Reach your knuckles towards the earth as you lift your heart up to the heavens. As you exhale, dive down, shoulder rinse with a forward fold. Surrender. Allow your palms to reach towards the front of your space. Knuckles are starting to fall to the floor. If you have the mobility, keep the palms pressing. Draw the shoulders towards your hips so they go away from the ears, and now you have more space to breathe. Find 2 more breaths here. I like to find a little sway, making like an arc shape. So I take my left rib to my left thigh, kind of open up to the front. And then I take my right rib to my right thigh and then kind of open up left. So if you'd like, you can play with some movement of finding some arc shapes or whatever would feel good for you. And then take your grip to your lower back, so to the very small of your back. Release your grip, take an inhale, lift halfway. Take your right hand underneath your face, come onto your fingertips, bend your right knee. So right hand comes down, your right knee is bent. Inhale, reaches your left arm up. And exhale, take your left hand down, bend the left knee, come onto fingertips. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, takes your right hand down, moving with your breath. Inhale, your left arm, breathe in, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Strong breath in. Inhale, reach your right arm up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale lifts you halfway. Take a breath in. Find elongation of your spine. And exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Together, take a huge breath in. And And together, take a huge breath out. Inhale, wave your spine forward. Come into your plank pose. Lower halfway down, stay with me. Press up, high plank. Lower all the way down to the earth. Take your right ear and cheek to the mat. Rest your arms by your sides. And just feel the unique rhythm of your heart as it beats and pumps against the floor. And take your chin through center. So that same grip we just had in our shoulder rinse and that forward fold, I want you to take that again. So bring your palms to touch, interlace your hands like you're holding your own hand, and take your forehead down to the earth. Exhale all your breath out, so go shh. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your heart up. Keep your gaze down, so I don't want you to look forward. Look down at your mat, so now that your back of your neck is really long. Press even more down through the tops of your feet and your shins. And now imagine like someone just came and lifted your grip, so your palms. They lifted them off your booty, and then they pulled your grip a little bit further back towards the back wall. Make sure that your gaze stays down. Take 2 more breaths. Press down through your feet. Exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together, lift up. Take 1 more breath in, lift up. Exhale, stay, and slowly, slowly release that. Go ahead and roll onto your back. So however that makes sense to you, just roll onto your back so that your belly is now facing up. When I first started teaching a couple years ago, I would try to like talk people through specifically how to roll onto their back, and I was like, geez, like we knew how to do this when we were not even 1, so why am I trying to tell you how to do it? Because people would look at me and be like, what the heck is she saying? Anyways, take your feet wide, bring your knees to touch, constructive rest. Take your hands, bring them connected to you. So I like to take one to my heart and to my belly. Feel your body breathe. What can you observe in this space? The space that you've created for yourself. What do you notice here? What sensations, what feelings arise? And we're going to take a happy baby, so draw your knees in towards your armpits. Imagine like you're going to stamp your feet on the ceiling, and then take a grip on the inner or outer arches of your feet. So you're going to continually kick your feet up to the ceiling and then use the grip of your hands to draw your feet back down, but I want your shoulders to also be grounded. So take about 3 to 4 breaths here and just observe sensation. What sensations, what feelings arise in this pose? And when you notice what feelings or sensations arise, you don't say, okay, well, I feel this way because yesterday my friend did this and this and this and this. No, it's not that. All it is I feel this when I do this. That's interesting. I wonder why that is. But you don't tell a story, you don't make meaning, you simply just observe. Go ahead and take your knees in towards your chest. This is going to be the last bit of effort I'm going to ask of you for the entirety of the class. So give yourself the biggest possible hug you can. Grab for your opposite shin or your opposite foot and take your lips to your knees and kiss your knees. And if you're like, lady, I'm not kissing my knees, that's so weird. Why is it weird? Who told you that it was weird? Was it society or was it you? So, do you love yourself? I hope you love yourself, and if you don't, I even want you to tell yourself, I love you self. The more we tell ourselves these affirmations, the more we tell ourselves these positive filled things, the more that we become it and the more that we believe it. So, give yourself the biggest squeeze ever and say, thank you body, wise body, strong and capable body. Your body and your mind just went through the craziest last 45 minutes of attuning your focus to making these teeny tiny muscles in your body work in a way that was specific and perfect for you. So take one more big breath in. Give yourself the biggest squeeze. Thank you, body. Wise body. Love you, body. And exhale, go ahead and release. Extend your legs out long. Allow your toes to flop to the right and to the left. And take your arms by your side. Your palms will face up. One last little tidbit I'm going to give you is press down through the back of your head and even maybe through the backs of your hands so that you can lift your shoulders off the earth. Now that your shoulders are lifted, squeeze them together. So tone your back, pinch them, and then go ahead and allow your shoulders to fall back down. So now what just happened is you've made this bolster or this like lifting of the front side of your chest so that you can breathe more freely into that space. We're going to take 2 cleansing breaths together before you find your way into your final resting pose. So together, go ahead and take a big audible exhale. Hear your breath leave your body. And take a big breath in, fill up. Take the biggest breath you've taken all day, maybe the biggest breath you've taken all of class. And then pause when you're at the very top of that breath. Notice how it feels to be full of life. And with love, you exhale, surrender. One more time, big breath in, fill up. And exhale, soften. Finding your way to your final Shavasana, yogis. These are your final moments for this everlasting peace and stillness. And so one of my teachers, who's actually also the manager, one of the managers at Black Swan, Miss Patsy, if any of y'all know her, I'm sure you love her just the same. And so she's been doing these chats for our teachers. They're called Chats with Pats. They're really cute. And she's also a life coach. So she was talking to us about this idea of when we do something that we love, what is it about it? So what is it that we feel that makes us love it? What is it that we feel that makes us want to do it again? And so our yoga practice, right? I'm sure most of us probably love our yoga practice. It's our time to kind of disconnect from reality or from the external world and simply to tune inward and to slow down our breath, to slow down our body, and to ultimately slow down our mind and open our hearts. And so even though we love our yoga practice, sometimes there's definitely days where we're like, man, I just don't want to move. I'm feeling lazy, I'm feeling tired, or I just don't have time for it today. And so right here and right now, I want you to ask yourself, why do I love yoga? What is it about yoga that makes me feel something that I want to do it again? So when we connect a feeling with an activity or an event, it's more likely that we're going to want to do it again because we want to obtain that same feeling that we once felt. So observe this feeling you have in your final Shavasana. Maybe it's this overwhelming peace and calmness, this stillness in your body. Or maybe it's overwhelming strength and empowering feeling. Whatever this feeling is, I'd like you to observe it and hold on to this feeling. Don't grip onto it, but just gently hold on to this feeling. Know that this is why you love yoga. This is why you do yoga. To feel just the way that you do right now. to the truth of who we really are as we unravel our biggest fears and deepest selves. And we start to reveal and unwind this tender, blissful place where we're free to be our most purest and most boundless selves. It's within you, and it is you. I'm going to leave you in your final Shavasana this afternoon. And please, please stay here for no less than 5 minutes. Allow your body to return back to rest, back to that feeling of what brought you here. Why do you love yoga? What about it that brings you back again and again and again? Honor that space, remember that space, and hold it close. Thank you, yogis, so much from my heart to yours. Until next time, peace, peace.